First of all, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah. Double honors to the apostles, the great millstone who rule well. Salutations to the brothers in the hedges and the highways, preaching and teaching this truth in sincerity. Safety, peace, and blessings to the elect across the four corners of the earth. Okay, I just want to get on the women right quick. A little something. Of course, if the Lord will, I have more to bring out to the women, if the Lord will. I pray you find me worthy that I may edify. This for those who have eyes to see and ears to hear. If you can't comprehend, then hell with you. Change the channel. It's for the brothers in the know. So let's keep it popping. As you see on your screen, I have Matthew 19:9. And I want to go into it right quick and let's read it. And it reads, Matthew 19, St. Matthew 19:9. And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, committeth adultery. And whosoever marrieth her, which is put away, doth commit adultery. Okay, so he said, if you just leave your woman, I'm about to call her bitch, demon, hoe, whatever you call her. Okay, wife, rib, Eve, I don't give a shit. But if you leave her, the scriptures say you commit adultery. Now, it says saving for fornication. So now we need to find out, I'm not going to go deep into the word fornication, but we need to find out. And like I said, as you can see by the title, we need to find out what the hell that actually goes into. Okay? Because if you want to leave your bitch, don't be sitting there and lay a stumbling block before yourself. If you want to leave her ass and she is not going the way, let's get it. Okay? The next verse, before I explain everything, let the scriptures explain itself. So the next verse I want to go into, and I have the Apocrypha ready, so let's go get it. All right? In Apocrypha it says, and this would be Sirach, okay? 26, I believe, the 25th verse in Sirach, that would be Ecclesiasticus, Sirach, 25th verse of Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, and the 26th verse. If she go not as thou wouldest have it her, cut her off from thy flesh and give her a bill of divorce and let her go. Okay? Now, of course, you see on your screen it has the Old English. This is the 1611. So keep in mind of that issue. It is the 1611, so they're going to have different words worded in it. But if you go to a Bible Emporium or whatever the fuck you got in your neighborhood or your city, you will see they updated it. But this is the 1611, so consider that. And I'm going to read it one more time. This is Ecclesiasticus, chapter 25th. And the 26th verse, if she go not as thou wouldest have her, cut her off from thy flesh and give her a bill of divorce and let her go. Now, a bill of divorce, you can write up that shit, but that's carnal. You just tell a bitch to leave, okay? Simply as that. And why he said, if you go not that way you would have her, in other words, if she don't do what the fuck you tell her to do, you can cut her the fuck off. You know what I'm saying? Now, we know the Most High symbolized everything as far as the spirit goes as a household of man and woman. Just like Yahweh Shah is our head, we are the head of the woman. If Yahweh Shah tell us to do something and we don't do what the fuck he say, guess what? He gonna cut us the fuck off. So the same thing with the woman. If she is under a man who is an Israelite, who be in the know and who have the knowledge and wisdom and understanding and the spiritual power of Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shah, and she is aware of this, if she go not the way you tell her to go, get that bitch out of there. Cut her off. Thus saith the Lord, the scriptures abide with you, and it stands by you, and you are in order. And you won't be judged in wickedness for that. You might be judged in righteousness, because if that bitch is wicked and a downfall to you, you need to get her the fuck out of there. Really, that bitch would be a burden unto you. You don't need to be stressed about that shit overnight. Let her go. Okay? So let's get the precept for that. Well, not really a precept, but I just want to go into an example of that. But before I go into an example of that, let's go back to the KJV right quick. And I want to give another example. And this is actually going into the law. Let's go get Numbers right quick. And those brothers being in the know already know where I'm going. But let's get Numbers right quick. And I'm going to jump off at the 30th chapter. And I'm going to start right here. And I'm going to jump to 30 and 3. And it reads, if a woman also vow unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, the Lord, and bind herself by a bond, being in her father's house in her youth, okay? Now, that's being in her father's house. So let's jump to the 6th verse. And what the 6th verse says. The 6th verse says, and if she had at all an husband, when she vowed or uttered aught out of her lips, wherewith she bound her soul. Okay, let's go to the 7th verse. And her husband heard it and held his peace at her in the day that he heard it, then her vow shall stand, and her bonds wherewith she bound her soul shall stand. 8th verse, this is the key verse. But if her husband disallow her on the day that he heard it, then he shall make her vow which she vowed, and that which she uttered with her lips, wherewith she bound her soul, of none effect. And Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah shall forgive her. So it don't matter what the fuck you say, woman, what you gonna do, or what the fuck you say, your husband have total reign over you. So if he tell your ass don't do something, guess what? You can't do it. He is your Lord, according to the scriptures. I'm not gonna go into the scripture of Sarah calling Abraham Lord. All right. So if you bound yourself to anything, and he was talking about the Most High, ain't nothing highest than Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. That's why he said to the Most High. So if she bound a vow to the Most High, everything under that is bullshit. So if your husband tell you don't do shit, I don't want you going nowhere, don't have these motherfucking family members of mine coming the fuck over, guess what? They can't come. And if you go against him, you being disobedient. And we know it's always better to obey than bring sacrifice. And we know those who do not obey are considered witches. And we know what is to happen to witches, right? They are to be put to death. Preferably, I like to see them burnt on the stake. But anyway, let's go to the example I have through the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah Wa'hamashiach Yahweh Shah. And I got an example of a disobedient woman. And it's even of the heathen. All right, let's go get it. And this will be in the KJV. And let's go back up. And I want to go into where is it? Salakia, let me get to it. It's in the book of Esther. And let's see what the heathen did with his wife for didn't obey him. Okay? So, and while I get it, let me say something right quick. Now, as the first scripture I read in Matthew's 19th chapter, fornication. Now, isn't it fornication? I would assume fornication would be if I tell you don't do some shit and you do it, or whether you follow your own mind and you thought that shit was right, and I told my wife, hey, I don't want you doing this shit. That's fornication, bro. That's stepping outside. That's stepping outside our little unity, our little bond. That's stepping outside my flesh. Because guess what? As far as my body goes here, if I don't want my motherfucking arm to lift up, he ain't gonna lift up. So if my wife is my flesh and I don't want her to motherfucking go somewhere or do something what she want to do, guess what? She have to abide by that rule and that law, and that's the order that I gave her. Because I am her Lord. And this is the way we should think as Israelites, okay? That we are kings of our domain. And when I say domain, whether that be your household or whether you be rule over your wife and your kids, your word is bond. According to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah Wa'hamashiach Yahweh Shah, as an Israelite brother that have been woken up from the rudiments of America, okay? So let's get right into the example. And fornication is just as well as disobedience, okay? All right, so let's get right into it. And it reads in Esther, okay, the 1st chapter, and I'm going to go into the 10th verse. On the 7th day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine, he commanded Mahamam, Beztha, Harbana, Bektha, and Abagtha, Zethar, and Carcass, the 7 chamberlains that served in the presence of Ahasuerus, the king. All right, now, as I do this, I'm going to jump right into, okay, let's keep on. To bring Vesta, the queen, before the king with the crown royal, to shew the people and the princess of her beauty, for she was fair to look upon. Well, you know, let's talk about heathen, because there are no kings in Israel. There was one queen that tried to be queen, and her own son took her ass down. But I ain't going to go right into it. So the 12th verse, but the queen Vesta refused to come at the king's commandment by his chamberlains. Therefore was the king very wroth, and his anger burned in him. Okay? We go into the 13th verse. Then the king said to the wise man which knew the times, for so was the king's manner toward all that knew law and judgment. Must be Israel, right? So, okay, that's the point. I just want to hit that point. Let's jump to the 15th verse. We can excuse the 14th verse. Let's jump to the 15th verse. And the king asked basically, what shall we do unto the queen Vesta according to the law? Because she hath not performed the commandment of King Ahasuerus by the chamberlains. And Memucan answered before the king and the princesses, Vesta the queen hath not done wrong to the king only, but also to all the princesses and to all the people that are in all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus. Okay? 17th verse. For this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women, that they shall despise their husbands in their eyes when it shall be reported. The king Ahasuerus commanded Vashti the queen to be brought in before him, but she came not. 18th verse. Likewise shall the ladies of Persia and Media say this day unto all the king's princesses which have heard the deed of the queen, thus shall there arise too much contempt and wrath. Okay? So basically, I got to the point. In other words, your motherfucking ass, to the few women that listen to a great millstone, the true prophets of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, starting from the apostles at Great Millstone on 34th and 7th on Broadway in New York, okay? All the way down to the brother that hold the sign, all right? And to the brother that hold post, rather, all right? So basically, this is saying, even the fucking heathen, even the motherfucking heathen don't like his woman going off and not listening to his word. And you see, just right there, all he did was ask her to bring her ass forth. Come your ass here. And she couldn't do that. So he canceled her goddamn contract. Ain't no more marriage for you. A bill of divorcement, get her the fuck out. Let's replace her with somebody else because she don't listen. Why? Not only the fact of disrespecting to his honor as being a man, disrespecting to his honor as being a king, but disrespecting to the fact that now you finna poison all these other motherfucking women. You finna poison all of them. Just like it's going down in Babylon. These bitches on these goddamn reality shows, your woman sitting there looking at that shit, so she feel like she gotta have that shit too. So she feel like she gotta talk shit to her husband. Why? Because these other bitches show by example. Fuck Babylon. I hate this fucking place. And guess what? I hope this was edifying to the 144 and the 1/3, 2/3. Fuck you. Okay? I hope this is edifying to the brothers that be in the know and in the truth, even in GMS and outside GMS. As long as you follow that truth, all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. That belongs to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the brothers in the hedges and the highways pushing this truth. Safety, peace, and blessings to the elect across the four corners of the earth. Death to fucking Babylon, aka America. Shalom.